Over the past few days, we've made a lot of progress at the bargaining table. We've put forward a historic enhancement to our working conditions for our transit operators, which would see them get guaranteed minimum recovery time. Under our new proposal, transit operators would be guaranteed at least 40 minutes of recovery time on every scheduled shift. The guarantee would see our operators paid double time for any minute of that 40 minutes they miss during regular road conditions. However, despite this significant progress, we're disappointed that talks have once again broken off. Wages are now the key sticking point. Our wage offer to the union is well in excess of other public sector settlements in British Columbia. Under our current proposal, the top annual wage for transit operators would be boosted by around $6,000 over the next 4 years, bringing their annual total to just shy of $70,000. Top annual wages for skilled trades would be boosted by around $10,000, bringing their total to nearly $90,000 a year. This is fair and reasonable. However, the union is not prepared to move in any meaningful way from their wage demands. And unfortunately, union job action will now significantly impact commuters. We're asking the union to be more realistic about their wage demands, given that our current offer far exceeds the rest of the public sector in British Columbia. I'm here to answer any questions you might have.
The union is saying that you won't compare them to other transit workers, that you're looking across the whole public sector. Why not just look at what transit workers are making and base wage increases on that?
Well, you know, we've said this several times. We want to remain competitive in the markets that we recruit in, and we've been very clear about this. Transit operators and skilled trades, we do recruit in this region, and in fact, specifically on the transit operators, over the last 2 years, we've received just shy of 10,000 applications for those jobs. The last 2 job fairs that we had nearly 1,000 people lined up to come and join our organization here. We feel that we are competitive today. We do want to maintain that competitiveness. That's why we are lifting those wages faster than the rest of the public sector already in our current proposal.
But why not bring them up to the level of, as they're saying, SkyTrain maintenance workers, and I know they're looking at Toronto as well. Is there a reason why those direct comparisons aren't being considered?
Well, I think in terms of the transit operators in Toronto, again, we don't recruit in that region. We recruit in this region. We feel we are competitive for transit operators, hence the applications that we have had. In regards to the comparison to SkyTrain, it's not an exact comparison. Again, it is a different organization represented by a different union, but again, the straight time hours they're different. For example, we have a Sunday premium. They don't have a Sunday premium. It's not exactly a apples to apples comparison, and it's very difficult for us at this point in time to move off of the current wage proposals that we have, given that it is so far in excess of the public sector settlements in British Columbia today.
Can we get CKW?
Can you take us to the mood in the room when talks broke off, when you guys both walked away?
I think actually the mood in the room was fairly good. I think both sides are disappointed that we can't come to an agreement, but we did, as I said yesterday, made significant progress on working conditions. We've never had a guaranteed recovery time for our operators, and this will make a huge difference to the day-to-day of what the operators are going through. It'll give them the time to ensure that they can decompress, they can have a break, they can do the things that they need to do in the challenging job that they have. Again, if we don't reach that minimum, they will receive overtime pay in the form of double time for every minute that they don't meet to that 40 minutes. So I think we've made a lot of progress. The mood was okay, but we obviously are disappointed that we're not aligned on wage proposals at this point in time.
Well, we're going to see some pretty big impacts next week. What's the word to commuters as they see that their buses aren't coming on time if they're trying to get to work?
Yeah, we remain able to get back to the table whenever the union is more realistic about their wage demands. We are available at any time. Obviously, for commuters, we are telling them stay tuned to our transit alerts, to our Twitter page. We will do as much as we can to update the commuters on what's happening on a day-to-day basis.
How far is the wage gap? Obviously, the wage gap is the thing. How big is it, and can it be breached, or are commuters in for a long, ugly haul?
Well, we've been very transparent about our costing. We do our costing across 10 years. That is the length of the investment plan in this region. And the difference between the two is about $150 million across those 10 years, sorry.
Marcella?
Just to ask you, how much money does the company stand to gain or save the longer this dispute drags on?
Marcella, I don't actually have that information. We can get you that information. We haven't run any of those numbers. Our goal really was to stay at the table to try to get a negotiated settlement. Obviously, talks have now broken off as of just a couple of hours ago. We will be going through all of the planning on the service disruption, and we can get you that information at a later date.
On average, though, per day, when you're seeing overtime banned, what does that mean? You've got to have some numbers.
Well, I think the numbers that we're looking at right now is that we expect service to be disrupted about 10%. And so we will look at that. We're running those numbers still right now. And that's, again, combined with the current job action of the maintenance overtime ban. So combined, we're going to have, obviously, a challenge in some areas, and our teams will work through that, and we can provide more information as we go.
Maria? How concerned are you about how broad this labor dispute could become when you're also looking at SkyTrain workers reaching an impasse in their talks? And what does the company intend to do to try and head that off?
Well, I can't make any comments about SkyTrain, but what I can tell you is that we are greatly concerned about the impacts to the commuters of this region relative to the job action at the bus company. We pride ourselves on trying to get every hour, every minute of service out there that we can to move this region around every single day, and any service disruption is unacceptable. So obviously the union has said they're going to do the overtime ban starting tomorrow. It will have more significant impacts. We're very disappointed that this is continuing and that we can't come to an arrangement, given that we have such a significant offer on the table, given that we have solved this issue around guaranteed minimums for recovery time. And again, given that we have asked the union 3 separate times, maybe a mediator will help us. Let's get in the room with a mediator to see if they can help us understand each other's sides and come to an agreement. And they've refused those 3 offers as well. So it is frustrating, but we're ready to get back to the table as soon as the union is more realistic about their wage demands.
CBC.
Unifor is still saying they expect this to escalate to a full-scale strike looking at the way things are right now. How are you going to avoid that?
Well, again, we are ready to get back to the table as soon as the union is more realistic about their wage demands. The wages that we have on the table right now in our proposal is greatly in excess of what the rest of the public sector is settling for in British Columbia. We have to balance fiscal accountability to giving our workers a reasonable and fair offer. We feel that we have exceeded that by exceeding the public sector settlements. That's what we have on the table right now. Again, we're very proud that we got as far as we did yesterday on working conditions, and that's going to improve the day-to-day of our operators greatly.
Any more questions? Oh, hi, Ben, all the way down here. Last time we were told about what the offer was a percentage pay increase. This time you're giving us a dollar figure. Can you either give us a percentage this time or the dollar figure from last time so we can make a bit of a comparison about the difference between the offers?
Sure. Currently, the offer that we had on the table for our wages is the same. It's 9.6% across the 4 years for transit operators. It's 12.2% over the 4 years for our skilled trades. And the new proposal that we put in front of the union as of yesterday is specifically on working conditions that have made progress in that area as previously described.
Okay, so the wages have not changed.
The wages have not changed at this point in time.
Marcella, you to follow up?
Just explain again, because you touched on it a bit earlier, but why can't we pay drivers and other transit workers here what they're making in Toronto and other cities?
Well, I think that there's a couple of points to that, Marcella. It's one, we do have to be fiscally responsible with where we spend taxpayers' dollars. Secondly, right now we feel we are competitive in this market for recruiting transit operators. We do want to remain competitive, though, and so instead of remaining at, say, a 2% increase and just remaining at the state of where we're at right now, we're actually moving faster than that with our current offer, and that's going to keep us even more competitive than we are right now.
Any more? Okay, thanks everyone.
Thank you.